art students, today we're going to be making the actual pizza dough. So we have our starter, and we're going to put the starter into the mixing bowl. Try to break this up. I've got some flour here for my hands. You're going to try to break this up into about 12 pieces so that we can incorporate the water into the starter. And it's pretty sticky. Here's one. So this is going to take a few minutes. Just be patient. And I have my water at lukewarm temperature, so you want it about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Anywhere from 95 to 110. 110, you're getting close to the yeast starting to die off. So temperatures, warm temperatures will kill yeast, and we don't want to kill our yeast. We want to feed it and make it alive and continue to ferment this dough until we're ready to make our pizza dough. Or our pizza, make our pizza. Okay, got quite a bit on there. Just get as much off as possible. There we go. And now we're going to add the water. Just low speed. My mixer's had a mind of its own lately. There we go. I'm afraid I'm going to need a new mixer soon. This will be my second KitchenAid. I like to wear them out. Okay, so I have that in there. I'm going to add the water. And again, that's 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to use the paddle attachment until we have all of our ingredients incorporated. And then, only then will we switch over to the dough hook and start the kneading process. That's looking pretty good. Let's just reach in here. So the recipe just says to reach in there with your hand and break up your sourdough starter, and we used all of the sourdough starter. We still have some mother starter, and please experiment with that. Make some more breads. This pizza dough, it freezes nicely, so you could actually make multiple batches and freeze the pizza dough, and then when you're ready to make pizza, you have your sourdough pizza dough. Okay, looking pretty good. I always like to turn it off for our ingredients. So we're going to add the flour. And I've already measured this out. It's 4 cups. And then I have the yeast, salt, oil, and this is a product I want to talk to you about. You can add sugar to this recipe, but you can also have the option to add honey. I'm doing the Dulcet, and it is extracted from apples, organic apples, and it's low on the glycemic index. So you can use this instead of sugar. It's organic and just a fun product to experiment with. All right, let's give this a go. Going to bring this together until it's tacky. I used a thermometer, a digital thermometer, to temp my water. I put it in the microwave, so make sure you don't go over. If you do bring your water to room temperature in the microwave, make sure you use a thermometer. It's very hot in there, and you can go over 110, get into 120, and start killing your yeast pretty quickly. For about a minute. The dough is coming together nicely. It's tacky. Again, if you want to just kind of flour your fingers to get the dough off of there without it sticking to your hands. pretty good. So let's take a look at this dough. It's pretty tacky. It has a lot of aroma to it. And that's about what you want right there. Okay. Dough hook goes on. And what's going to happen is as we knead it, the flour is going to absorb that moisture, and then we will transform this dough into a less tacky dough and more into what resembles pizza dough that we're familiar with. And that's going to go for about 3 minutes. So now I have my pizza dough on a well-oiled surface, and I went ahead and weighed this pizza dough. It weighs 37.5 ounces. We're going to make 5 pizza balls with this, so we need 7.5 ounces each. But first we want to stretch and fold. So get your hands nice and oily, and then just stretch that dough and fold it on top of each other, and then turn it and do the same the other way. So we're going to stretch and fold and turn the opposite direction, and then again stretch. Just make sure you can see that stretch and fold, and then turning the opposite. And if it starts to get, you don't want it to be, you want it to be tacky but not sticky. Stretch and fold. And we're going to do this for about 3 minutes, helping develop those gluten strands. So gluten helps hold in the carbon dioxide that's created when the fermentation process starts. So if you over-knead and your gluten structure breaks down, there won't be anything to hold the carbon dioxide into the dough, and so it will not rise properly. Stretch, fold, opposite direction. Good, looking good. Okay. So we're going to do this also until we have a nice smooth dough as well. It's pretty smooth. And one more time should do it. Stretch and fold. There we go. Now, let's get this into 5 pieces at 7.5 ounces each. I can't find my bench scraper, which is perfect for this process, but if you don't have your bench scraper, which many of you may not, a knife is perfectly fine. So let's see what 7.5 looks like, and then we can go from there. So that is 5.3. And I've just covered my scale with plastic wrap to keep it from getting all sticky and gummy. Dirty. 7.7, getting there close. .5, beautiful. Then you're going to take that dough and just stretch it around itself. Form these nice little dough balls. Tighten it up. And that goes onto a well-oiled pan. You can see that it is very well-oiled. And then we're going to do that 4 more times for a total of 5 balls. Make sure the tops of your pizza balls are nice and oiled, and then we'll put saran wrap over that, and it'll go into the refrigerator. You can also freeze those little dough balls, and again bring those out anytime, thaw them, and have fresh pizza dough throughout for up to 3 months. Okay, art students, it's time to make some pizza. So I've got my dough balls here, and they are all proofed and ready to go for a minute. I'm going to roll them in some semolina flour. Get my hands nicely dusted there. Let's get this out of the way so you can see me. And then we're going to start to make it a crust. So you take your fingers and you push down and around and move that dough around. And then we're going to dot it in the middle with our fingers, and then pick it up if you want. Just know that in the culinary kitchen, if your dough hits the floor, it's going in the trash. So you can just spin this on your surface to get to the size you want, or you can attempt to toss it. But if it hits the floor, we can't eat it. Okay? And we're going to do a little stretch. Looking pretty good. No holes. And then I'm going to place this on my paddle here and put it on a stone that I have heated in the oven at 525 degrees. So hopefully this will just slide right onto that, and we'll have a beautiful pizza on the top and bottom. So we've got some sauce. I like a lot of sauce, but this is up to you. And I like to use the back of my spoon to swirl that around, leaving enough room for your crust. There. And some cheese. So do you put the cheese on before or after? I like to do both, before and after. So this is just going to be a cheese pizza, and we'll make a couple of pizzas. The next one will have some homemade Italian sweet sausage that I've made. But let's just go ahead and do cheese pizza to get started. I also like to take a little olive oil and just dab that around the ends on your crust. That's going to help that crust brown in the oven. Okay, let's go into the oven. So you can see my pizza is sliding around, just that's good. And I have my pizza stone on the very bottom of the oven. I'm just going to slide it right into the pizza stone. Good. And that should take about 10 minutes. The next pizza we'll actually do on a sheet pan, and we'll add the sausage, Italian sausage. Okay, it's time to get this out of the oven. It looks amazing. So we have the pizza out of the oven, and I'm just going to drizzle it with a little olive oil. And finish with some fresh parsley and oregano. And we will try this in just a minute. We're going to let it cool off before we slice it. Okay, for the next pizza, let's grab a dough ball. And we're going to get our semolina so that our pizza slides around. And a little more of that semolina flour. There we go. Okay, and we're going to put that on our pizza board here so our pizza slides nicely onto our stone. Got some semolina on my hands, and I'm going to make the crust. Make sure everything's sliding, and then tap it down in the middle. And this is the point where you can choose to stretch the pizza on the surface, or if you want to try your hand at spinning the pizza, you would pick it up and toss it back and forth. And you may just want to stop here instead of throwing it, but you can spin it as well. And I don't think I caught that on tape. Way up there. But in school, if you don't want to risk your pizza hitting the floor, just go ahead and spin it right here on the surface. Looks good. So I'm going to put it on my paddle. And it's sliding around. That's nice. So it'll slide right onto the stone in the oven. Give it a little sauce. Use the back of your spoon. That's the best way, really. I like a nice crust on that sauce. And we have scratch-made sauce at school. We're going to put some cheese down. Some of this delicious sweet Italian sausage that I made here at the house. pieces left over. My little dog Rosie will love that. And then again, we're just gonna hit it with a little more cheese. And I like to go around the edges with some olive oil. This helps ensure that we're gonna get some browning on the top as well as the bottom. Got a super hot oven and a pizza stone in there. Here we go. So into the oven it goes. All right, it's moving around pretty good. I have my little friend here just in case it doesn't want to get stubborn. Oh, it's gonna play nice. There it goes, right on top of the stone. And it doesn't take long at this point. It's at 525 degrees. We're gonna close that door and let it do its thing. This looks really nice. It's ready to come out. Gorgeous. Ah. And then we're just gonna finish our sausage pizza with some parm. A little olive oil. And then some fresh parsley and oregano. If you've got basil, that's great too. Voila. So the next two pizzas we're just going to finish on a sheet pan like we will at school, and it's really well oiled. So again, it's the same process. We're going to get our little dough ball, roll it around our semolina. If you don't have semolina, just use flour, it's fine. Use what you got. Okay, you've got that crust formed, and then I'm going to go in the center. And you can just stretch this. You don't ever have to spin it. You can just finish this right here on your station. No thread of it falling on the floor. Try not to tear any holes. The best thing to do if you do tear a hole is not to try to pinch it shut, but to pull a little piece off and patch it. It seems to work a little better. Okay, onto the pan it goes. We're going to try to put, well, I don't know if I'm going to get two on there or not. I don't think I will. Yeah, maybe so. So make sure you've got that well oiled underneath. Sauce. Back of the spoon. Roll it around. Good. A little sauce, cheese. And now we're going to do a nice dry Italian salami. So get creative. Of course, if you're a vegetarian, you can put vegetables on this. And I'm going to hit it with a little more cheese. And around the edges with some olive oil to help that browning process in the oven. And then moving on to one more. This one we're just going to make garlic bread with. Okay, so this will be our vegetarian option. And it's nice. Picking up that extra semolina, no reason to waste. Okay, and this one I'm going to go ahead and toss. Tossed it, I promise. Oh, we got a little hole. Well, that's good because I've been wanting to show you what to do if you get a little hole. It starts to stick, just keep picking up that flour, and then we're just going to take a little pinch off the side there. And patch that hole up. Okay, that's the best way to do it. So onto the sheet pan it goes. And then I'm just going to brush the top of this with olive oil, but when it comes out, that's when it will get all the garlicky butter goodness. So this is going to go on the top shelf so it gets a nice browning on the top in the oven for about 10 minutes. Okay, these are hot out of the oven. Let's finish the salami with some parm. Oops. Olive oil. And some fresh basil and oregano. And we'll move on to our plain crust. And then we're going to put all of this lovely garlic butter, and it will absorb. So just be very generous with your garlic butter. There we go. And that bread will absorb that butter. Oh, it is so lovely. Finish with parm. Oops. And again with the fresh herbs. All right, let's get these to the cutting board and serve. Okay, we are ready to cut and serve. So I've got all of the pizzas lined up here. We have the cheese pizza, the sweet Italian sausage pizza, the pepperoni pizza, or salami pizza, and the garlic bread. And you'll see here I have this really nice bamboo cutting board with some condiments up here for your guest. So it's nice for them to be a part of the whole creation process. And when they add that little bit of parm and some red pepper and fresh herbs to their pizza, they feel like they have too contributed to the ultimate experience. So go ahead and cut those slices. I like to give generous portions. So we're just going to go 4 slices per pizza. There you go. And then for your breadsticks, if you want to, you can just go make them into a traditional breadstick. On the bias. Okay. So let's plate. Plating is so much fun. There's our salami, our sausage, our cheese, a couple of these lovely breadsticks. And again, this gives your guest an opportunity to garnish as they wish and be part of the whole flavor profile. Enjoy.